Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
You're in first position, front of the pack. The fastest lap at the moment, 1:25.4. And we're in front of Russell, Albon and Stroll.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow. Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will challenge the drivers in a tight wheel-to-wheel race. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Antonelli, Alex Albon, and Tsunoda, Norris, Piastri, Aaron, Pierce, Hulkenberg, Behrman, Lance Stroll, and O'Sullivan, Webber, Massa, Jack Doohan, and Esteban Ocon, Maloney, Gasly, Pepe Marti, and Tim Tramnitz rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check. Yeah.
Okay, last race we finished lower than we expected, so this time we need a big push and I need a better weekend out of you. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
P2 and quali, so a lot of good things, just we want to make it perfect, so let's keep pushing.
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying and of course the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time. Welcome back to Miami and welcome to qualifying. Only raw speed will separate these drivers today, but the question is, who's got what it takes to get pole?
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Ready, check.
Here are the top 5 cars as things stand. Okay, so the current fastest lap, 1:38.4. Tsunoda, Albon, Leclerc, Russell and Verstappen. We've been pushed down to P22.
Yeah, I couldn't go any quicker.
Formula One has arrived in the Sunshine State for spectacular sunsets, gentle breezes, warm waters, and for what will be a fantastic race day here at the Miami International Autodrome. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I'm sure it's one that will please the fans. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Piastri, Paul Aaron, Doohan, Leclerc, Massa, Gasly, and Lance Stroll. O'Sullivan, Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, and Maloney. Behrman, Tremnitz, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Nico Hülkenberg. Pepe Marti, Albon, Webber, and Joshua Pearce rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Ready, check.
Right, the least said about last race's result, the better. It wasn't good for us, so let's see an improvement today, okay? Okay, good parking there, mate. Now we need to make sure we get a great launch as the race starts. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. Okay, be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage. Okay, DRS is now available. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. You're leading the pack, that's P1. Okay, Russell's behind you now. They're on fresh mediums. You've got 10 laps until your pit window opens. Pit window opens in 10 laps. 27 laps to go. fresh now. We're boxing this lap.
Yeah.
Don't forget, box this lap. We had an issue attaching the right rear wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put that behind us now and get back into this race. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Okay, clear. Good work, we're in P4. Okay, gap to leader, 18.6 seconds. Leclerc ahead, less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. All right, 16 laps to go. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, Nico's into the pits. Nico in the pits. Nico's coming in for his stop now. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 33.0 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're in 11th. Okay, the underbody's taken some damage. You might start to notice it soon. Okay, and that's a red flag. Red flag. Keep the delta positive, and let's have you straight into the pit lane, please. All right, if we play this right, we can get a nice advantage here. Let's have a think about how we handle the rest of this race. Again. Leclerc behind. Time last lap, 3:39.7. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. You need to give that place back, I'm afraid. That was an illegal overtake. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 2.7 seconds. Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Russell behind. They're on fresh mediums. They've done 14 laps on those tyres now, and the time last lap, 1:27.8. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Not our best executed race, obviously, but still some points on the board for both of us. So well done, but you know, we need to do better.
Here's the checkered flag. Here's our winner. By George, he's done it. Russell wins.
Well, it's never easy and straightforward to put a race like this together today, Crofty, in changeable weather conditions, but they did the best job out there. They used the information wisely, and they stayed on the track. That was the most important thing.
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. By George, he was good today. The top step awaits for George Russell. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Chief, I must remind you that we have parts fully researched that are waiting for development. Let's get that performance on the car.
Sorry to disturb. Need you for a moment, please, boss?
Hey, Chief. We've got multiple parts out of research. Don't forget to develop them. We've got performance sitting on the table that we could be getting into the car.
Okay, I'll be honest. These talks have been pretty painstaking, but we're making excellent progress. There are a few details to iron out, so when you're ready, start the meeting and we'll try to smooth over any final issues ahead of a potential deal.
Have you got a moment? Need your input.
Hey, Chief. We have a part or two ready for development because they've finished research. Let's get that in motion, shall we? Head to engineering.
Good news on this one, boss.
Chief, I must remind you that we have parts fully researched that are waiting for development. Let's get that performance on the car.